Hello class, good morning. We are going to continue with our second class, right? Our second class. But first of all, I hope that you are spending time with your family. You are sharing a lot of experience with them, right? You are having a conversation and stay at home, right? Stay home is the most important thing now. Okay, the class for today is going to continue with talking about gadgets, right? But we're going to learn new structures, focus on questions within statements. This is our first objective, to learn the structure of questions within statements, right? This is our first objective. And our second objective is to learn some phrasal verbs, right? Focus on gadgets or devices, okay? So then let's start with all the attitude, okay? Let's start. So first of all, I'm going to I'm going to make a review of the information that I shared with you before, right? So remember this grammar chart, right? Remember about direct questions and questions within questions, right? Actually, you worked um, on some exercises in the platform, right? So you made or you create new questions, but follow some structures, right? Um, First of all, the what do you think about direct questions? Right? Questions, direct questions. Direct questions are very common, right? A direct question only has one verb, right? For example, what is a problem? Is the verb, right? In the other question, the question number two, which side did she use? Use is the verb, right? We can see only one verb, and this one did is the auxiliary, right? So then the sentence or the question has only one verb. In the other one, in the number three, it says, are stores open? Right? Open is the main verb here, and are is the auxiliary, okay? So then the other structure, right, that we studied before was about questions within questions, right? This is not complicated to understand or to identify because you can identify two verbs in the same sentence. For example, in the number one, do you know? Do you know is the first part of my sentence, but it has the structure of a question. Do you know what the problem is? Do you know what the problem is? So please check the structure. This one with green and this one with red, right? What happened? What happens with this, right? Is the problem in the direct question, right? The verb be is at the beginning, right? Is at the beginning. But in my questions, within questions, the verb be is at the end, right? So then the feature here is that you're going to put the verb be at the end, right? In questions within questions, right? You have to identify the structure. For example, in the number two, can you remember which side she used? Observe, observe or check the structure with green and this one with red. What's happened? What happened, right? She used, in this case, in the green one, I have an auxiliary, right? This auxiliary is in past. So then in my second sentence, I won't use the auxiliary did, but I'm going to change my verb in past, right? In simple past. So I can give you a tip. This is like an affirmative sentence, right? It has the structure of an affirmative sentence, because here we have first the subject and then we have the verb, right? So please check it out. Here I am using did, but here I won't use it, but I am going to change the verb in simple past. Okay? The number three, are stores open? Do you know if, I'm going to use if as a condition, the stores are open, right? Do you know if the stores are open? Please check the structure, stores open. Here I'm going to put first the subject, the stores, and then I'm going to use the verb be, right? So then here, the verb be is at the beginning. Are stores open, right? And here, the stores are open. Store is at the beginning, the subject, right? In my in the structure with questions within questions, right? This is a little bit confused because you have to move, or you are going to change some words. In this case, you're going to put first the subject and after that the verb. So it's a little bit complicated. I understand that, right? That's why I'm going to explain you an exercise, right? Actually, this kind of exercise you resolve in the platform, right? Exercise. Rewrite this question using the grammar chart above. You are going to resolve this by using this grammatical chart, right? You are going to rewrite the question, but you are going to identify what kind of a structure you are going to use, right? For example, if I have a direct question like this, are my headphones on my bed? Right? Are my headphones on my bed? I want to start my question with an auxiliary are. Are my headphones on my bed? Right? Yes. I want to start with this. Are my headphones on my bed? Yeah. And then I have a reference here. Do you know? Do you know this phrase, right? Do you know? I'm going to, in my new sentence, I'm going to write it first. So then, do you know? What kind of question is this? It's like similar like this, right? So then I'm going to use the condition if, right? Do you know if my headphones, I'm going to change the subject first in my new sentence, in my other sentence, right? Do you know if my headphones are the verb be, right? I'm going to put after the subject on my bed, right? So what is the key word here? Here, the verb is at the beginning, right? The verb, the main verb is at the beginning, right? But in my new sentence, the verb be is after the subject, right? See this structure. Are my headphones? My headphones are, right? So then in your new sentence that you are going to resolve, you are going to put the subject first and then the verb, right? This is actually a reviewing. I explained it because the other structure is similar like this, right? Let's see. For example, we have some direct questions, right? We have some direct questions, and our challenge is to create questions within statements, right? This is our challenge. Okay, how we can do that, right? So I have my direct question: how much that does the cell phone cost, right? This is my direct question. I'm going to write questions within statements, right? I'm going to start my new sentence with this: I don't know, or I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm going to start my new sentence with this. And after that, I'm going to include my direct question. I'm going to include my direct question. But remember, I have to change, I have to change, if it's necessary, of course, the subject first and then the verb, right? If you identify this part, how much the cell phone cost is like, is this is the structure of an affirmative sentence, right? An affirmative sentence is first the subject and then the verb. So it's the same thing here, right? You write the reference first and then include the question, but with the structure of an affirmative sentence, right? And so then this is the correct way. I don't know how much the cell phone cost. If you identify here in the new sentence, you won't use does, right? Because just does is only used in negative and question form, right? You won't use in this part. So that's why you are going to use the structure of an affirmative sentence. The same happens with this, the number two. Is my pen drive on the desk? Right? A possible answer. I don't know if, I'm going to use the condition if, I don't know if your pen drive, I don't know if your pen drive is on the desk, right? See that, see it. This is an affirmative sentence, right? Pen drive is on the desk, right? Here we have first the subject and after we have the verb be. Okay, next, the number three. We have a question. Where can I buy a nice smartwatch? Right? A possible answer for this question is I have no idea where you. So I won't use I. I'm going to look for the right answer here. In this case, is with the pronoun you. I have no idea where you can. First the subject and then the verb can buy a nice smartwatch, right? So then is the same thing with a question within question. You are going to follow this structure like an affirmative sentence, right? So then I'm going to explain you an exercise, right? This exercise is going to be able in the platform, okay? So if you don't understand it at the first time, you can repeat it, right? And you will get the right meaning, the right uses, okay? So for example, the exercise, write this question using the grammar chart above, right? I have my direct question, where can I buy a tablet? I wrote the pronoun I with Greek one because it's important to identify the subject. I'm going to tell you why, right? And here I have the reference. You have a reference. I have no idea. So then my new sentence is going to start with this. I have no idea. So then I'm going to write it. I have no idea. I'm going to include the direct question into my sentence. So then I have no idea where you, where you. This one, this I'm going to change it with the pronoun you because this question is gonna be for this as an answer, right? So then you won't use I here because this is the answer for this question, right? I have no idea where you can buy a tablet, right? This is the structure like an affirmative sentence where you can buy a tablet, right? So then is the same thing that I explained you before with those examples, right? So please, if you don't understand it at the first time, please repeat the video and uh, you will get the right uses of questions within statements, okay? Now, it's time to learn some phrasal verbs, right? Let's start with the meaning. Phrasal verbs are phrases that indicate actions, right? They are generally used in spoken English and informal text. Examples of such verbs include check out, look for, look forward to, right? We can identify the structure of a phrasal verb with a verb plus a preposition, or it could be a verb plus an adverb, right? So if you want to translate them, right? If you want to translate a phrasal verb uh, by 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 parts, right? You won't get the meaning, right? You are going to read. You are going to use the verb and the preposition, and you will get the meaning, right? You can't get the meaning one by one, right? Literally, it doesn't have sense, right? So that's why it's called phrasal verbs, phrasal verbs. Okay, we have the first phrasal verb, right? Put away, put away. To put something in the place where you usually keep it when you are not using it, right? In this case, in the picture, they are having dinner, for example, right? So the sentence is gonna be in this way: Alexa, put your cell phone away, right? You're going to move, right? To move your cell phone near to the table could be, or put your cell phone in your bag because we are having dinner, right? Put your cell phone away, right? Okay, next. We have the other phrasal verb that is look it up, look it up. Okay, the definition of this phrasal verb is to try to find a particular piece of information by looking in a book or on a list, or by using a computer. If you don't know a certain information, you are going to investigate it, right? So the key word here is investigate, right? So here we have the example. I don't know how the printer works, right? I am going to look it up in the instructions, right? To know how the printer works. Okay, good. Look it up means, or look up means investigate something. The other phrasal verb is take it apart, take apart. Take apart means to separate an object into pieces, right? So here the key word is separate, separate, separate. Objects could be separate objects. And here in the example, I'm going to take the battery apart because it doesn't run well, right? The battery probably doesn't charge, right? So then I'm going to take it apart, right? Because it doesn't run well. Okay, good. Take apart means separate, separate. Okay, the next phrasal verb is turn up, turn up, turn up. To increase the amount of sound, heat, or light produced by a piece of equipment by pressing a button or moving a switch, all right? So the key word is increase the amount of sound, right? Increase the amount of sound. This is the key word, right? The example could be, my mother turned the radio up to listen the news yesterday, right? Okay, I'm going to tell you an important thing. You can change the time or the tense with the phrasal verbs. You can refer to the future, you can refer to the past, or you can refer to the present, right? So you just have to apply the rules for each tense. If you are referring to the past, you're going to add er in the case if the verb is regular, or if you are going to refer to the future, you are going to use going to or will, right? So then please check it out. In the future, in our next activities, I'm going to emphasize in the uses of phrasal verbs in different tenses. Okay, good. The other preposition, phrasal verb, sorry, is take off. Take off, right? What means take off? To remove something, especially a piece of clothing, right? But in this case, we're referring to gadget or gadgets, right? So then we're going to use this one to remove something, right? So here is an example. Emmanuel, please take your earphones off. We are in class, right? Remove your earphones, please. Yeah, because we are in class. It's not necessary to use earphones in class, right? So then remove your earphones, please. Okay, take off. We can, we have the keyword is remove. Remove something, okay? Don't use it. Don't use your earphones in class. Okay, and this was our class today that was focused on the uses of questions within statements and some useful phrasal verbs to when you are having a conversation in English. It's important to use them to have a fluent conversation. Okay, the first task in the platform is going to be related with questions within statements, right? If you want to repeat the video again in this part, please do it. If you continue having some doubts, please let me know. Send me a message in the platform, and I'll be ready to help you. And the other activity in the platform is going to be related with the uses of phrasal verbs, right? You only have to know the meaning of each phrasal verb, and you are going to infer the uses according to some sentences, okay? So then that's all for today. See you next time.